All right, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good something to you. Hope everything in your life is going well. And if it's not, please reach out to the proper people in order to make that better. Um, so, what we have is a few things to talk about first before we get into what this haul is about. Um, I kind of want to go into the Super Bowl, but I don't want to take too long with it. Trey, do you have any final thoughts on the game?
Um, first one, the Bengals are gonna have to go heavy on O-line this year. Um, Very heavy. I don't understand how you go from allowing 1 sack in the entire first half to 6 in the third quarter alone. Two, they're most likely gonna be back to the Super Bowl, and I think they'll probably end up turning into like a Chiefs. Now the Chiefs, their first year when they kind of blew up, they didn't make it to the Super Bowl, but they were an offsides away from it, and it was the Rams too that they were going to end up playing anyway. So they're young. They'll Joe Burrow, that same team. They'll have most of that same team back next year, probably other than most of that O line, but they'll probably be back. Hopefully not next year. You always hope the Falcons make it next year and win it, but they'll be back in the next couple of years. It won't be a big drop off.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind, especially for the Bengals, is that they're one of the top teams when it comes to having the most salary cap space too. So they can actually tinker around however they feel like with the offensive line.
Make a
At
super.
Bengals, I got an idea. Get Teron Armstead from the Saints.
Yeah, I mean they did
Uh,
get Trey Hendrickson from the Saints
yeah, man, just go into the whole Saints pool.
see how that worked out for them.
You
And
know,
ended up having
I mean,
13 and a half
they,
sacks.
and then not to mention they had Eli Apple too.
Oh well, he's. I
Oh,
don't really talk about Eli Apple. He
well, you
deserves
know
all
the
the
phrase.
hate he gets.
Well, you know the
That's
phrase. The apple doesn't fall too far from the wide receiver who caught the game-winning touchdown.
yeah, tragic.
Oh, how's it going, everybody in the chat? Welcome, welcome. Let's
Going on
get
in Atlanta.
along with. Oh yeah, thoughts on Dante Fowler.
Oh, I'm sure everyone was kind of expecting this. This was like of course, when every year every team has that. Well, we expect this dude to get cut. He's most likely gonna get cut. We're just waiting on the word and when. And today, stiff arm 6 got released. I forgot how much cap it saves us, or if it even saves us any at all. But even if he wasn't a cap casualty, he was still probably gonna go. Um, I mean, like we, not to go too deep in this, but like we said, Big Beasley had more sacks in his last year here with 8 than Dante had in 2 years in 7.5. So couldn't even get 1 sack to get an extra $1 million in 6 games. So I'll never respect him. Maybe he comes back to the team later in the season for a death, but as of right now, I don't even think anyone signs him to a 1-year, $5 million deal unless he's like going to the Bengals to be behind Trey Hendrickson.
And even then, like, does he earn enough in order to become a backup on a proven team like that? You know, one thing that really kind of struck me is how Terry Fontenot was actually able to deal with the contract. Because when I was able to try to go on sites and tinker with other people's contracts just to see like how much money we can actually save from making certain moves, I didn't really know what to do when I got to him because, it may just be because the site is limited or that the site isn't always accurate to what an actual GM could make in terms of the contract situations. But one thing to keep in mind is they dropped the cap hit for them and they diminished some of the guaranteed money as well. So that kind of relieves more things in the long run in the grand scheme of things. and to not just have a simple release, but to have everything else worked around that, like that was pretty cool in order to have that kind of move happen. But let me ask you this: was he to be like the first? Like, were you expecting him to be the first one to go, and this soon?
I was actually not to say now. I expect him to be one of the first three. I thought Tyler Davidson or Mike Davis would get cut first, just because Tyler Davidson got we basically knew he wasn't going to be on the team when he was basically on the inactive list every Sunday for the past like 8 games. I thought he would probably go first, or Mike Davis. I thought he was probably going to be. He is kind of a cap casualty right now, but I thought he would probably be the first one too, just because he had a below average season. And what I mean by that is he wasn't good or great, but he wasn't terrible. Now, of course, over the last 3 weeks, he was terrible. He got like 1.5 yards per carry, didn't even hit 50 yards in any of those games. And that Saints game was just abysmal. I mean, like 2 fumbles in just crucial moments, man. Like both of those fumbles turned into touchdowns too. So yeah. But I was expecting someone to get cut at least a couple of days after the Super Bowl. I thought it'd be a day after, to be honest. But you always gotta wait, see what's happening, hear the news. But yeah, I wasn't really expecting Dante to be the first one, but I knew he would be gone.
Well, I mean, I know that when you looked at the rest of the contract numbers. Oh well, before I get into that, how's it going, Wallace? How's it going, Josh? You saying, man, I hope we keep Ridley and don't go backwards. If we, he's gonna say that we could probably win if we keep Ridley back. I reckon that's not the only move that needs to be made in order for us to make the division. Yeah. But it's up to him how important he wants to be to us. And if we're just going based on talent, sure, he'll be a contributor in the best way possible at that position for us.
No,
the jury's out on that.
Yeah. And the thing is, did you see what the Instagram thing he had earlier? Debacle. It was so on the last post, the dude commented, I forgot, but he was basically like, man, we thought you would be the heir apparent to Julio, and clearly you're not, and hope we find somebody to replace you. Oh, wait, we already did. He was like, please request a trade. And Ridley, this is Calvin Ridley on his Instagram account, verified and everything, just says, okay.
Now, to add some context to that, I don't know what the other comments were that was said before that, because if you take a look at that, there was about 7 comments that was made before that statement. But if the guy that made that statement didn't say anything else, and what you also got to remember is that he came back to that comment after 22 hours of that being posted on top of his page or whatever. So, that thought was lingering. That thought must have done something to him in order to go back to it after a certain amount of time. And then there was also some other things that he was saying to other people on Twitter. The point is, I don't know where this is all coming from, but what's his end goal with this?
I mean, I think not to go now. Of course, players, do respond to players. To people's comments on social media. They do it a lot. He responded to somebody on Twitter yesterday around 2:00. The person said, "I hope really he's doing well with his mental health issues, and hope you get well soon." And the people that want him traded are heartless now. Of course, anybody that has mental health issues, please get help. It's a very important situation that needs to be taken seriously. But the thing, and he responded to that by saying, it's okay. I've been doing well, and I can talk my stuff too. And didn't say stuff. Now, of course, like I said, players do say a lot of things, but I think this is just putting more nails in the coffin that he won't be here come probably even April. And the reason I say that is, one, you still have Cordell Patterson's locker up, but Calvin's is gone, and he's on contract. Cordell Patterson's not even on contract. Calvin really is on contract for the year. He's on contract. Two, he's like a post about him going to Philadelphia and Miami and New England.
Going to Chargers and Giants games and
goes to I look like Alabama's my favorite team, but Calvin, what are you doing in Mercedes? Now this is in Mercedes-Benz too, so it's Falcons fans there too. It's not just predominantly Georgia fans. There's Falcons fans.
You're going to get seen.
Yeah, and he's going to get seen. I mean, they're packed out. Of course, the SEC championship game is going to get sold out, so you're going to be seen by at least 40, a good 80-50% of Georgia fans there. Okay. 4, he's been on social media, but there's still no reports about him and the Terry Fontenot and Arthur Blank Arthur Smith having any conversation with him, not even a 2-minute, hey, what's up, what's going on. So, to be honest, I'd probably say, don't even be surprised if he's traded by next week, just to have something ready. I think Terry, we like this culture right now and how we're trying to build this team, we don't need that right now. We don't. And it's not something that these young players need. It's not something Matt Ryan needs to be worrying about, like, well, is my number one wide receiver going to be here, or do I need to be trying to scout some of these free agents and draft wide receivers? And that's just something we don't need right now. So, like I said, don't be surprised if Ridley's traded by next week. Don't even be surprised if he's traded by tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. Because right now, it's just we're waiting. Like I said with Dante Fowler and all of these cuts, we're waiting on the time, the date, and the day to where we hear if Calvin Ridley's going to stay or if Calvin Ridley gets traded to Miami, which I'm hoping he does. Give us one of your first picks.
I think they have the most amount of money saved up when it comes to the cap number.
I think they have $72 million. Somewhere.
I didn't say that. That was Trey that was talking about that. I don't really have much stake on the actual teams in college football. I just kind of watch just to scout. So, but anyways, Dirty Birdie's in here. Welcome. Tony Wright is in here as well. Let's go on everybody else. But let's see. Well, it's saying let's just pump the brakes, you know. Which I see why he says that, but it's hard for us to keep quiet when he doesn't.
Or when he does keep
that's
quiet,
really uncharacteristic. So, plus, dude, we're so bored now. If you were to tune into Good Morning Football earlier this morning, even they were like, dude, what are we gonna do in order to talk about football for 3 hours? Even they, a professional run show on NFL Network and whatnot, they had no idea how to fill the time for 3 hours. That says something. People are just curious about their team. People are just curious about certain players, and they just want something to talk about sometimes. And this could be one of those things. Now, how far do we really dig into it and then try to see, what's true and what's not? That's neither here nor there at this point. But all we're trying to say is the conversation is going to continue as long as he makes us want to talk about it because we are a Falcons channel. And, like Trey said, he's under contract. So guess what? We're going to talk about the players on our team, as well as the players that have yet to be on our team, which is going to be happening in a little bit later. But what fascinates me is that I don't even know if it's like officially spring yet, but we're already doing our spring cleaning. So anyway, Falcons fans need to get over Calvin Ridley and stop wasting your time and effort talking about him. The man wants to be gone from Atlanta, and we might make it happen. I'm excited about the second round pick that we are getting in return for him.
I wouldn't be surprised if the team overpays for him. We've seen it with Julio. Now, if you look from right now to last July when we traded Julio, would you say he was worth that second and fourth round pick?
Ooh.
Even if that second round pick's the 58th pick, was he really worth it?
Okay. Well, let's think about this in the context of everything else going on, because one thing that might hurt us when it comes to the value that Calvin Ridley could provide if we were to let him go or like trade him is the rest of the free agent list on the wide receiver crew. Like he's not even the best wide receiver that's going to be a free agent if we make that happen. Like, so when you talk about people that are going to be available, like you got guys that don't have this baggage, like you have guys like Dante Adams who are, up in age, but at the same time, they can produce when put in the right spot. And that's their choice in order to make that landing spot for them. Same thing with Chris Godwin, another really productive receiver. I know we can also have an injury problems, but he'll show up for you when he can, and that's like Michael these Gallup. Teams are also kind of, Michael Gallup also coming from an injury, DJ Chark also coming from an injury, Allen Robinson, the man just needs to be free. But you got to understand is that there's other really good players that are going to hit the market that other teams just can't afford to keep on their side. And that's what's really killing it for me, because Julio last year was still one of the best wide receivers available in the offseason. And as long as other teams knew that, they were willing to give up an arm and a leg, which is apparently equivalent to a second round pick and a fourth round pick and whatever we got from the year afterwards, right? But I think we got like a sixth round or something. Like, didn't we get something from last year too in the draft? Or no, that happened. We got
the Broncos trade, right? And then when we traded back, we traded that in a 6th round pick.
Oh, right.
That 40th pick, and we got a 4th round pick in that exact same draft.
Gotcha. All right. Well, yeah, it's gonna be tough for other teams to really decide where he is on their want board. I don't know.
And the thing is, especially, he's kind of messing himself up because, well, we don't know if he's ever going to play again. You have to tell, even though you might not want to be there, you have to tell the team, I can still play. So trade me. Or he can still play. Do you want to talk to him and ask him yourself? Like, we've already asked him, but do you want to talk to him and ask him yourself? And that's right. Like, he's going to have to tell the team himself that he can't have his agent or his whatever his franchise, the brand is. He's going to have to do that himself. Because teams are going to have to know, is he in the right mindset? Are we going to trade a 1st round pick for a dude that's not going to play until 2024 because of mental health issues? Or are we going to spend a 1st or 2nd round pick on a dude that's going to play for us week 1 of 2022 and beyond? So that's a big part of it. I don't think a lot of people look at.
Tough decisions certain GMs have to make. And it's a good thing Thomas Dimitroff is not among them.
For real. That's right. The way he been talking on these podcasts, we would have had Justin Fields last year instead of Kyle Pitts.
For him to throw the ball to absolutely nobody.
Yeah. He's trying to sign some trash CFL dudes instead of CFL dudes that actually have a little that may have bring a little energy to the team. That's what I like about Terry Fondo so far. Him and Art have been signing a lot of CFL guys that have been popping off lately, like in the CFL. And they used to be in the NFL and didn't really work out, but by that time they were really young and going up against top tier talent. So I like to see where that heads to.
And then you also got to remember we fired our wide receiver coach too. So I don't know if the next person we're gonna get to fill that spot is an upgrade, but we have no choice but to be optimistic.
Yeah,
it doesn't do us any good to be pessimistic about that. So.
I wonder if they'll give one of the coaches two positions to handle, or just give Dave Ragone the wide receivers again. But the way the offense looked, I don't want him going anywhere near a wide receiver ever again.
Mucho Grande has this to say. He says, "Is there any one player you would straight up trade for Ridley?"
Not really. Really, most of the time, you're either going to trade up for a corner or a replacement wide receiver. And really, all the wide receivers that are really, really good right now are in free agents. They're free agents. So, in a corner, you really, the type of corner you trade for Calvin Ridley would be a number one wide corner. And we don't really need that right now. Would it be good to have a number one corner at number two? Yeah, but then you're going to have to end up paying that dude number one corner type money and AJ Terrell. So, probably, to be honest, it probably had to be a young dude and a high pick. Now, not to say I hope we do this, but if we did do that, I'd probably say Jalen Rigger in a second.
Yeah. Bravo brings up a good name in Christian Wilkins.
Christian.
If you want to send him to Miami, there's an idea.
Yeah. They do. Really, it will work. It will work out for us, but also them too, because they do have good D-line depth there.
Yeah, that was one of the things that Brian Flores was able to provide for that team. But apparently, because he wasn't losing them the games that they wanted to lose in order to get the players that were, that. Whatever.
That would just make them worse. You're paying. That's like paying a rookie top 5 deal every year. That's taking away cap space from you to go sign or re-sign other players. It's not helping you, so might as well try to sign some drafts high.
The other side of that is that affects your locker room too. I understand that when you want to go out there and perform, you expect to win, and if you don't get the result, it's because of certain things. It's not because you weren't granted the choice to win. It's you're removing the choice to win for these players, and what do they get out of it?
Nothing.
No, because now the other teams in the league, they don't understand that they're doing this on purpose, and then they gotta. And if there's a free agent player that's going to hit the market after this type of year, what can they say? They can't perform too good, otherwise they might accidentally win. So it's now your talent level that you're trying to acquire it's going to go down. The team morale as a whole is going to go down.
And I don't want to leave too.
The fans are not going to want to show up either, regardless if you have good talent. Look at the Rams. They had all the good talent, and nobody in Los Angeles paid attention to them. More people in Jacksonville paid attention to the Super Bowl than actual people in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
And
they don't even have a fan base that's willing to, they don't even have like a front office that has been told to lose on purpose. So,
I mean, we saw that with Minka Fitzpatrick that year. I mean, you see, he's an all-pro safety that you lost because you were trying to lose on purpose. And some of these players, because even though that's above their pay grade and like from the front office standpoint, things fly around. Players hear things from the front office. They hear what they're thinking sometimes. And when you hear that your coach or your front office is trying to pay your coach or tell your coach to lose on purpose just to try to get a high draft pick, do you really want to stand there and withstand all of that? I mean, the Dolphins, the first week, they were blown out by 45 points. To a Ravens team that, they were good that year, but then got beat in their first round.
Are you referring to the 2019 season?
Yeah.
I think they lost 59-0. Then they lost to the Patriots by like 43 to something. I think it might have been like 43-3.
And that was the season he was talking about. And then 2020 year, that was the year Flores missed the game. He missed the playoffs by like one game because I think he got swept by the Bills. Yeah, it was a tiebreaker, and he got mollywopped by the Bills. And then this year, started 1-7, ended 9-8. And it's kind of like, well, the coach
again missed the playoffs on another kind of deal breaker or tiebreaker. Because we all know that the Steelers had no business being in there. It would have been either the Chargers or Raiders.
I mean, it probably would have been a better game if you put the Raiders versus the Chiefs.
Or heck, if the Colts actually showed up to their last game, then it would have been them.
Yeah. Because of course you love how Big Ben went out, makes it to the playoffs, wins his final home game in Pittsburgh and all of that. But man, like, it's the playoffs. No one really cares about that. They just want to see who's going to the next round. And that was like really the ultimate lock out of any game, even the Buccaneers and Eagles game. That was still a lot because you knew Pittsburgh offense was basically worse than ours other than their run game. Their weapons were held back by Big Ben and his inability to move even an inch out the pocket, throw more than 20 yards, and be on point. And now their O-line is still garbage. Their defense is top tier, but then again, their weapons are inconsistent. So it's just like, still like, come on, man, who wants to see that? I'd rather even though the Chargers went to overtime with the Chiefs and barely lost because Travis Kelce did that little. He turned on the Jets, but like that would have been a better playoff game.
Well, I mean, they also kind of screwed themselves over with analytics early on the game too. But
yeah.
What are the Chargers going to learn? What is Brandon Staley especially is going to learn about analytics anymore now?
Yeah.
Is he gonna trust that because that was like his bread and butter going into the season, part of why he was even hired.
Still trying to wonder how you're fighting for a playoff spot and you get blown out by the team that actually has the third overall pick in the draft. Now I understand if you would have lost that game because the Texans just outfought you and you only lost by 3, but you were literally destroyed by a 3-14 team.
Yeah, that ain't good. But now that I feel like we have enough people in here in order to continue this conversation about what the heck this is. So if you hadn't checked the description, basically what this is that I don't know if I was going to be allowed to use the words like Royal Rumble, but I bring that up because I am going to list, if I can get my tripod to so I got 30, I got a number from 1 to 30. And I'm going to write a name and write another name. And then we're going to have a minute-long discussion about who would we rather take in the situation. All right, what this means is I have 30 players right here, but at the end of this discussion, we can only take one because we only have one draft pick in the first round. But I'm going to give you guys 30 options. Now, as for the two people that I'm going to leave off, I don't know if I want to leave off like prospect number 31 and 32 or leave off prospect number 1 and 2, you know? So that we'll leave that decision. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, I guess. But the point is, I'm going to throw out a name. I'm going to throw out two names, have a discussion about it. And after a minute, I'm going to add another name on number 3 and see who would we rather take there, and then kind of give a reasoning there. I know a minute sounds like really short, but if we kind of go by actual Royal Rumble standards, this might be a lot longer than we want. So
could end up being here too.
I don't want us to make that final decision in the first and like the initial 60 seconds, because we can leave. Like if I put both two names up on here, they can stay on here if we can't make a decision. But at the end of the day, if I add more people to this group so that they can discuss, you know, their side of things on the, you know, along with us on the stream, you know, because that's what I'm about to do in a moment. I want everyone to come to an agreement. You know, everyone that wants to hop on, I want an agreement. So if I throw two names up in here and you guys can't come to an agreement yet within a minute, then I'll keep that there and I'll add another person. If you can come to an agreement, I was like, okay, well, yeah, well, this guy, we'll not, yeah, we're not going to have him because of this and this, right? Because I don't want to just come to like, no, take him off. No. There's got to be more to it than that. So
give us some reasons why.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be tough, but that's what's going to make this challenge fun. So, last step of this process is that was awkward.
Yeah. Thinking like, I heard you say last step of the process and then everything to say wrong. Like, oh.
Yeah, the last step of the process is to pull a Calvin Ridley live on stream.
Now, that may have been the greatest joke of all time.
There you guys are. It should be up on the chat for all to see.
Imagine the phone just said, all right, guys, gonna have to hop off stream for a little bit. Having mental health issues right now.
All right. Once we get some takers, I'll add the two names. I don't know who to start off with. Like, I was thinking about that this entire time, but I don't know if I want to go out guns blazing and start taking some prospects in the top 10, or should I put two people from the same division, or, you know, not division, but the same position group, and try to decide who would we rather take there. One thing I will also say is that, let's say it does not matter if we have our pick stay at 8, right? Let's say that we can move around, okay? Let's just think about it this way. All I'm putting down right now are prospects. Wherever they are predicting to land, that's really not the answer that we're trying to make. What we're trying to decide is who we would rather have in a one-on-one scenario. And then we'll add more people there if we can't come to an agreement. I feel like this will be better explained. Like, this will be easier done than said, honestly. If it's up to me to continue to explain it, I'm going to mess it up even worse. So,
now, guys, before we do hop on, I will say, though, Be respectful. Don't be retarded.
Whoa, okay. That was said. I don't know if I would agree with you saying that on there, but
forget the second thing I said. But the other two, don't do those. Don't do those.
Okay. Rebel gave me an idea. I think these might be the two names I'll add up to the board. But I don't want it to just be me and Trey. I left the link on the stream for a reason. I want some people to join us and give their take. All right, now that you know who seeds 1 and 2 are, if you will. I'm not gonna write down their full name. I'm just gonna put first one Ojabo, and then 2 Karlaftis. All right. Now that we know, the time will start once we get our first taker.
All right.
In the meantime, like I said, I have more prospects in mind here in front of me.
Those are great 2 first starts.
Yeah, so thanks for the suggestion. The chat is a bit too high up for me to continue reading, just so you know. So,
all right,
I'll try to come up here and say it because I can't really read it. All right. Well, these 2 prospects are me. I guess I'll go until we get someone. These 2 prospects are me are very. They're cut from the same cloth, if you will, because some people are higher on Ojabo than others. Some people are lower on Karlaftis than others, and I really don't know like where they both fit in the grand scheme of things. Because Ojabo, he kind of reminds me of another Odafe Owe that was drafted by the Ravens in the last draft class.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, yeah, he's got the physical attributes, but there's just, you know, whether it was production or whatever the case may be, there was just
he's still
something
raw,
about
basically.
him. Yeah, he needs more time in the oven, if you will. Like, if you want him to be a starter, that's a bit far-fetched for you, especially if you want him that high. And then with Karlaftis, I mean, I've heard comparisons of him being likened to like Trey Hendrickson, for example, who we just seen in the Super Bowl. Regardless, he only got 1 sack, and that was in the 4th play of the game, but he was there. There has been some good film from him, you know.
Yeah.
His hand placement is something that has caught a lot of other people's attention. But if we can't come to an agreement on this, I'm going to add someone else.
I think for Karlaftis, I think the biggest knock on him is he isn't as raw as Ojabo, but the production drops off from where Ojabo was. Ojabo is great in pass rush, but as a run defender, he's just god awful. He's not that good. Karlaftis though he's kind of that complete edge rusher, can pass rush, can run defend, but he's inconsistent and he doesn't have the stats like Ojabo does. Now, maybe that was because Ojabo was lined up with maybe the best player in the entire draft on the other side, but he had a lot of one-on-ones, against a lot of good future first and second round tackles and guards, you know, switch plays. But yeah, I think that's really the biggest knock. Hold on. And before you go, I don't think it's his strength, because his strength is very good. He can bull rush really anybody in the league. Now, does he need to bulk up in arm strength instead of Actual weight, yeah. But as far as his strength, I don't think anyone's really worried about that.
All right. Well, I feel like I see the chat moving along. That's not really what I requested, just so you guys know. How about I'm going to add this name up on here and see what we got to think. Devin Lloyd. What are we thinking?
Pick, actually.
Who would you guys rather take out of these three? Or who would you want removed from the board out of these three? Because we got to eliminate someone. We got to throw someone over the top rope.
That's a hard one. I think Devin Lloyd would be that type of pick to where it's either we don't re-sign Foye or we trade Dion. That's probably why we would go with Devin. Now, Devin probably is really the best linebacker in the game just by a little bit, just because he's a little bigger, can blitz, and can pass coverage a little bit better than Nakobe Dean. But as far as linebacker, it's not really the biggest need, but if we don't re-sign Foyer or if we end up trading Dion, I think best player available, he will probably end up being a pick too, if he was there.
Yeah, I mean, Devin Lloyd's got a good skill set to him. Man, I'm seeing some people in the chat, but I don't really know what they're saying because I can't really hear them all that well. If you get what I'm saying. Anyways, as we leave that name here, just remember, I put the link in the chat. It should be working for those that want to hop on and say their piece. Because I'm just going to be adding names. I can't eliminate someone until someone comes up. Because we all got to come to an agreement. You know, that's the kicker. Hey. There we go. Jarvis, welcome. How's it going?
What's up, Noah? How you doing, man? How you doing?
Yeah, doing all right. So, now that you hopped on, let's get your thoughts.
So
I gotta remove one. The one's got to go over the top rope. Who is it?
It's gonna be Carl Loftus for me.
Ooh.
And I say that because when you looking at Atlanta, as you know, we haven't had a true pass rusher since John Abraham. So if you're looking at it from a standpoint of pass rush, Carl Loftus remind me of Patrick Kearney without the bend. And so if he had the bend, I'll be like, okay, cool, he's straight. But he don't have the bend, and his limbs are a little shorter. I like Devin. Devin reminds me of of Debo, but a little bit bigger. And of course, Ajabo is that speed rusher. I just hope Ajabo don't turn into Vic Beasley.
Yeah, that's always a concern with these guys because I get that Ojabo is about like 6'5", 250.
Yes.
That's the biggest concern too. Like, what is the actual frame of these 3-4 pass rusher? Does he have to be a big guy, or could he be a speedster? Because we want these outside linebackers to do more than that.
You don't have to be a big guy. I mean, just take a look at, for instance, Von Miller. Von Miller's not the biggest guy, but Von Miller has a plethora of pass rush moves. He doesn't just beat you with speed. He can, he beats you with. He's a setup pass rusher. So I think Ajabo could turn into something like that. But at the same time, like I said, we got all these high expectations for these pass rushers, and they end up turning into Vic Beasley, or they end up turning into Takk McKinley. Honestly, I don't know what it is with Atlanta. We just never can get that pass rusher. We end up getting a Ray Edwards. We end up getting, Somebody, I mean, you name them. With the exception of John Abraham, we always get these pass rushers we fall in love with, and they turn out to be nothing. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we need to start sending our pass rushers to go see Chuck Smith. I don't know.
Dr. Pass Rush himself. So what's your take on having Karlaftis over Devin Lloyd?
Well, I mean, Devin Lloyd. So if we talk about having Karlaftis, of course, now he's another pass rusher. He's a movable piece around the defensive line because he just doesn't play defensive end or anything. He can move inside or outside. I don't think we necessarily need another linebacker unless you're talking about trading Deion Jones, of course.
Or if we can't sign Foye back.
Yeah. So, but or you can't sign Foye back. Honestly, I think Atlanta is looking towards from looking in past things. I think Atlanta is looking towards re-signing Foye. Now they could pull it to where they'd be like, you know what, we're gonna treat him like Curtis Lofton, and we ain't gonna offer him nothing. But you know how you never know which way or how this goes, left or right. You know, Atlanta's, you know, you think one thing for Atlanta, they go in another direction. Hell, all we know, Atlanta might draft, you know, Desmond Ridder in the first round.
Oh, that wouldn't always go well. I think that would probably be the biggest explosion out of any out of this entire fan base that I've ever seen.
I don't think the draft would finish because of the amount of riots that would happen. I don't even care where the draft would take place. Dude, the draft could have been virtual like it was in 2020, and it would still have like a riot.
Yeah, like I said, you know, I like all three players. You know, especially Devin out of Utah. I think I like him because he's a bigger Deion Jones. He can fly around the field. He can also he's also a better pass rusher. If you look at his tape, he's also shown signs to be a pass rusher. So who knows? You know, I'll tell you like this right now. I don't want to see back-to-back small pass rushers though. You know, getting a job and then turn around and get Devin Lloyd. You'd be like, so what are we doing here? You know?
Yeah, all we've been asking for was like, hey, let's get some more weight on the defensive line, and then you turn around and then remove Dante Fowler for another guy with the same stature as Dante Fowler.
Yeah,
just a little bit taller.
But like I said, we you know, I got this fear in my heart that when we pick somebody, we're gonna fall in love with them, and they're gonna turn out to be Vic Beasley. Am I being pessimistic? Maybe. I've been a Falcons fan for a very long time. I'm 34 years old. I've been watching the Falcons since probably 96, 97. So it's like, oh God, man. You know, what happened to those defenses? What happened to the defenses that went up to Green Bay and beat Brett Favre, was putting a hit on him? What happened to those types of defensive front? We don't see that no more in Atlanta. We fall in love with, or we get infatuated with one player, and the onus is on that one player to change everything for Atlanta's defensive line.
Yeah.
So I'd rather draft a whole bunch of underrated players than get that one so-called dynamic player that we got to lean heavily on to be the difference maker. I would rather do that. Look, Patrick Kearney wasn't the elite of the elite. You know, what his name was, Smith, Hall, Rod Coleman. Those guys wasn't the elite of the elite, but guess what they did? They worked in unison for one common goal, and I don't think we've had that in a very long time. I know we haven't had that in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think a big thing that Atlanta or Terry could do is say, okay, one player isn't going to change this entire D-line. We know that. Maybe adding some more depth would, of course, that would help. But I think that's a big reason why Atlanta may either trade back or just go with Ahmad Gardner or Darius Angley if they're there. You have basically a number one corner at a number two to help give the D-line a little bit more time to get to the quarterback if they're still having pass rush problems next year, which hopefully they aren't. but let's just say they are. Now you have Stingley that can, or Ahmad that can lock up a number 2 wide receiver, and then of course you have AJ on his island over there, telling wide receivers they gave him his $1,000 rent fee over there. So I think that may be a big reason to say, okay, one edge rusher, especially a rookie edge rusher, isn't going to change this entire D line. And we know the D line class is stacked. So let's just take the best corner or maybe even Kyle Hamilton available and shore up the secondary even more to give the D line some more time to get there, and maybe send some more blitzes so we have the secondary capable of doing that.
Or do what I heard Noah talk about it a couple nights ago, if I'm not mistaken. I think either him or Mad Mike. So why don't we just take with our first 3 picks, defensive line? Because essentially we have nobody.
Yeah, I was all in for double dipping on the edge round and the edge rushers in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that there's good depth there, and it will take whoever we can get at the top. But one thing that I want to do here is just to remind everyone that this is not us picking at 8 in all these scenarios.
Okay.
So if you're trying to make the assumption that, oh, hey, I would pick Ojabo, but not at 8, that's not the question. Who is the prospect you would rather have on the team?
Yeah, true enough. Okay.
So,
yes. Mm-hmm.
You guys can continue doing that. I'm going to add one more name to the list because another contestant has entered the ring.
Okay.
His name is a bit difficult to spell.
Oh, the guard and the tackle out of North Carolina State.
Akeem Okwanu.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Still got to remove someone.
Oh,
who's looking like the weakest link?
You just threw a curveball in this one, man. I like him, man.
Who's looking like the weakest link here?
Right now, I see
Ojabo.
Ojabo.
Yeah, Ojabo. Yeah, for sure.
Ojabo. Well, chat. Can we? We're gonna say that Ojabo doesn't go the way of Rey Mysterio and goes all the way. Because I got guys like Devontae saying, "Hey, Devin Lloyd, he might be the link this week because he likes the linebackers that we already have," and I don't blame him, but that's still not set in stone there.
Yeah, because if Foyer is gone, that's just open up a bigger hole.
Yeah.
I like Michael Walker. Don't get me wrong. I like Michael Walker, and when he's in, it seems like things happen. He's able to make, but that's only small sample sizes. What is he in a full regular season as the starter?
He made some plays last year, but he's looking more like that Terrell Suggs of the team, kind of like that outside linebacker that can pass coverage and play inside. But Dean kind of has him on that pass rush from the outside, get one-on-one on the tackle, or dropping the coverage, kind of like that pick 6 he had against Cam Newton.
Yeah,
where you're thinking, okay, yeah, he's definitely blitzing. So I have that little open zone right there. Oh wait, no, take him back to the house. So I probably think to be honest, he'll get playing time, but I just can't trust Michael Walker, especially when he's smaller than Foyer already, and we need size on the defense. I just can't see him starting. So, though, even if we do let Foyer go or he decides to go somewhere else, I just got to say Devin Lloyd is maybe the second strongest right now. And Ojabo, I think Ojabo goes just because this is his first 4 year starting. And he got 14 and a half sacks. Now you could say also because Aiden Hutchinson was on the other side, but he was getting double teamed too.
That's what I was going to bring up. And I know Noah was going to probably bring that up too. Like Aiden Hutchinson was on one side, so how much of that production that Ojabo got was due to the fact that everybody focused in on Aiden Hutchinson? Because we've seen that before. We've seen that with, of course, let's go back to it again. Noah, look at Ray Edwards. Ray Edwards had Pat Williams, Kevin Williams, and
Jared Allen, right?
And Jared Allen on the team. So he ended up with 11. He ended up with 11 sacks that year because he had the other 3 people that was taking up all the attention. He gets to us, and it's like he disappeared.
He was in a situation where you're asking the cleanup guy to become the guy to have other people clean up for him. And that's the role that Grady Jarrett's playing right now. Like, he's the guy that's supposed to be doing the dirty work so that other people can feast. Mm-hmm. Just because he's got a low sack numbers, that doesn't mean that that's his main job. His main job is to open the space for other people. And he's doing that while not being the biggest person, which is a very thing to do as a D tackle.
But the thing is, though, Noah, nobody else took advantage of that. It's the same. We did this 2 times in a row. We got Ray Edwards, who had the other players around him that that did the same thing, and then we did Dante Fowler when he had Aaron Donald and what's the other guy that went to Chicago?
He didn't just have that.
Robert Quinn. Yeah,
he had Robert Quinn, Aaron Donald, and Dominican Sue, Leonard Floyd, and Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib in the back in the secondary.
Yeah. So we get these cleanup guys. We get these guys who are not heavily focused on the defense, and then we go, oh, you know what? I like what he did last year, but we're not looking at the totality of the body of work here. What it contributed to him having this breakout year, and that's the question I'm going to have with Ojabo. Did Aiden Hutchinson, along with the D tackle that was playing with them, I can't think of his name, but it's pretty good D tackle with Michigan, along with the linebackers, did they play a part in Ojabo getting what he needed?
I think, and it's
all right. Before I add another name, I think it was kind of clear already. Ojabo off the board, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ojabo.
Now, just before we head to the second one, I wanted to say something about this one. Edge rusher that we would probably look at in free agency is Harold Landry. To probably not have to now, of course, Terry Fontenot did say you kind of want to acquire your needs in free agency and take the best player available in the draft. We could end up double dipping, basically take a edge rusher first or second round and get Harold Landry in free agency. Now the thing with Harold Landry is he's like 25 years old, but he's already had 2 8+ sack seasons already in back-to-back seasons too, without any help. He doesn't have like a Grady Jarrett.
Oh, geez, I didn't realize how loud that was going to be. Anyway, Trent McDuffie is on the board now. He entered the ring.
Oh yeah, he's going off.
Well,
he's going off that quickly.
Yeah, I can already tell.
McDuffie. So McDuffie, watching him in Washington, he's fine. One of the things with McDuffie is I think he's more of a zone corner versus a man corner. Don't get me wrong, he does have size. I don't think that's what DMP is actually looking for as more zone. I think DMP played more zone than he wanted to this year because of the deficiencies that Moreau, along with the slot corner, presented. As far as they're not good at man. They have their moments, but they're not as good. I think DMP's want to play more of a man defense, and McDuffie is more of his own defender. So don't get me wrong, has a talent. I think he's very talented. I think he just doesn't fit what DMP's wants.
Okay, very solid reasoning. Trey, what do you say?
The reason I say is kind of really what James is going on right now. I mean, what Jarvis is going on right now. He's, like I said, DMP is, I think he didn't even show off half of his playbook last year. He literally said in the interview, I've even shown off 50% of my interview because, well, my playbook, not to be like disrespectful to the players, but my playbook doesn't fit well with these guys. And you saw it more towards the beginning of the year. He was trying to run man with Isaiah Oliver. But Oliver can play man in the slot. He's a good man corner in the slot. Avery Williams and Darren Hall are more of those blitzing. Now, actually, no, Darren Hall can play man. He may get pushed around like a baby because of his height, but he can play man in the slot. But dudes like Avery Williams and Moreau and Eric Harris and Harmon and guys like that, they just aren't good enough to play man really anywhere, especially for Moreau on the outside. Um, and I think that's another reason you go Ahmad Gardner or Derek Stingley, because one, they can play zone. They're not that good at it, but I mean they're not the best at it, but they can play it. But their zone press cover corners, bump and run corners, that's exactly what AJ Terrell is right now. And you see how that worked out. And for AJ this year, all pro team, you get another corner that can go man, so now you can send more blitzes to get extra pressure so that guys like Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson and guys like that won't be turned up the secondary this season. You already have pressure on them.
All right. So is that going to be a no for McDuffie? Like, am I going to wipe him off?
Yeah, he's a no for me.
No, for me too.
All right. I'm going to throw another name then. Number 6 finally into the ring. Just keep in mind, I got 30 slots, all right? I got to go the way of an actual Royal Rumble and got to keep it, there's going to be some names I just got to throw out there just to fill the list. Garrett Wilson.
Okay, so Ohio State's receiver. So a little bit bigger than Olave, of course. He's bigger than Olave. A little bit. I really, how should I say this? I don't want him to turn into that one route receiver, that 9 route receiver going down the field.
That's just a better version of Frank Darby.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Wilson. I watched him and Olave play this year. Like I said, I just don't want him to be that. I won't get into Calvin Ridley's mental health issues, but I will get on him about his football aspect. So Calvin Ridley loves those 9 routes, those not so much the dig routes, the comeback routes, and I think that's what Garrett Wilson presents. I don't think he want to be one of those people going over the middle. Yes, he probably do it in college, but I don't want him to be moonwalking like Michael Jackson when he gets to the NFL.
For Garrett, one thing that does pop off is his explosiveness and his contested catches. Mm-hmm. But most of those contested catches are down the field. They aren't repeatedly over the middle, and you see most of the time when Ryan Day had him run over the middle, most of the time he had a Olave kind of run over the middle to clear that zone, so it's not a linebacker waiting right there to clean his plate. And right now, Garrett Wilson maybe is a top 3 wide receiver in this draft class, but he's not. He's basically a bigger, maybe faster Calvin Ridley. He loves the digs, the goes, the posts, the outs, the screens, and the zigs and all of that. But as soon as you say, hey, do a slant with Bobby Wagner over the middle, he's trembling with fear. He's going to do a possession catch. As soon as he touches the ball, he's not going to run over the middle. So, for me, would I draft him? Absolutely. Is he going to be my number 1 wide receiver? Absolutely not. So, for me, I'm going to have to say no just because I'm not drafting a number 2 wide receiver at 8 overall when I can go get a number 1 guy as a starter from anywhere else.
And it, like Noah said, not just an 8 overall, more so looking at it from an aspect of would you draft him anywhere in the draft, and would you want him on the team, basically. Would you want him on the team? I would want him on the team as a number 2, but I would want him on the team as a number 2, or whatever the case may be. But what kind of draft capital are you willing to give up, or whether it's number 8, whether Atlanta moves down or whatever. Overall, I would want him on the team, but not as that number 1 receiver.
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna keep him on the board just for a second, then, just so we get something. Oh, here's a name. All right, we're gonna get some.
Put that boy Quay Walker up there from Georgia.
Oh, don't worry.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Now.
All right, who's the weakest link?
Carl Loftus.
Wow. You're still sticking with him. Trey, you're going to have to either convince Jarvis that Karlaftis is not the weakest link, or you can just throw the white flag up there.
To me,
so I can kind of lower this camera.
To me, Karlaftis, I mean, Wyatt is kind of better than Karlaftis just because he's more versatile than he is, and his hand usage is better than he is. He's better in one-on-one, and he was meant to be a nose tackle until, of course, Jordan Davis popped up at Georgia. But even when he was there, he was still playing basically over the center, in between the guard. And
he's
he's just a nasty player overall. Mm-hmm. But he's versatile with it too. He's kind of like not to disrespect Aaron Donald, because Aaron Donald's probably the best defensive player of all time. But he's kind of like that, the Aaron Donald type aspect, to where he's violent, but he's also finesse, to where he can just swim past you, move past you right here, but he can also move you out of the way and clear you like you're a nobody.
Yes, so, he's very disruptive, and even when Jordan Davis goes out, because of course Jordan Davis is not a 3-down defensive tackle or defensive lineman, he's still disruptive. You put him on the end, he's disruptive. You put him over the guard, he's disruptive. And hell, he's fast. By the time some of the guards get out of their stance, he's already getting past them. So I mean, for Karlaftis, I don't really see that. He's more of a power rusher. With Devontae Wyatt, I see a plethora of moves and ways to get to the quarterback. He's very disruptive. I like him.
All right, so final say so. Karlaftis, he gets thrown over the top rope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, I was not expecting this to go in this direction, but hey, I'm here for it. I get to lower my camera now just a little bit more so we can see number 8 and 9. All right. Speaking of number 8, let's throw. Oh, let's see. I don't know how much of a talking point he's going to be, but.
Hey, Noah, I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't want to kill your vibe here, but Akeem, number 4 right there, I ain't taking him off the board. I don't care. I like what I see.
Yeah,
that's not going to kill my vibe at all. If anything, I just added Charles Cross on there just so we can see, what the differences are.
Oh, okay.
I think for me, Ikem Ekwonu is just he is so much more better as a run blocker than Charles Cross is.
Mm-hmm.
He's better. Of course, he's a better pass blocker. I mean, Cross is a great pass blocker, but Ikem Ekwonu could go number 1 overall over Evan Neal, and that says something. So, right now, I think it's either Wilson that goes off or Cross. But for me, knowing that Wilson, in my opinion, is kind of better than Charles Cross right now as a value pick and a player, I'm probably going to have to take Charles Cross off of here.
All right, Jarvis, you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, then. Charles Cross. I haven't seen a man be eliminated so fast in the Royal Rumble since Santino Marella. Anyways, how about we throw...
Hey, Trey, and you want to know something funny, Trey? That was a whole SEC offensive lineman that we just got off of there, and that says something about that ACC lineman right there, man.
Very.
Oh, Drake London.
Then Wilson, of course. Why would you? This not even a match.
So remove Garrett Wilson then?
Yeah. Just because Drake London is like he's a beast.
Yeah, man. You talking about somebody who could run the whole route tree, who's not afraid to go over the middle? That ain't even a match. 215, 6'3", 215 pounds. I'll take that any day.
All right. Number 10. Let's see if I can try to get this visible. Okay. Number 10.
Actually, no. Drake London 6'5". He's Mike Evans height.
Oh, okay. He's 6. I thought it was 6. Okay, he's 6'5". Okay.
That's Treylon Burks at 6'3".
Okay.
All right. I don't know if I can fit his full name, so I'm just going to use his first name. Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah, Jermaine Johnson.
Akeem O'Quan is gone. Akeem O'Quan is gone.
Wow. That was so quick.
I might have to take Devin Lloyd off, but
well, that would help my camera out a little bit. All right, well, you guys are gonna either eliminate one of these two, or can we get someone else up on here in order to be like the tiebreaker? Or I don't really want that to be me.
So Trey, okay, I see where you're going here. So being at Atlanta, whether we're in the draft or what are we talking about, what you want to have on the team, we need defenders, correct? Mm-hmm. So I see where you're going. So if you want my favorite offensive lineman in the draft gone, we can take them off and focus on defense.
The reason I say Mccreary is not because of his talent, but because of best player available plus need. Now, of course, Terry Fontenot does not draft off a need. He never will. He's said that last year in his first press conference.
Best player available.
Yes. But then you have to say, okay, we already have Jake Matthews. We're probably going to end up signing a left guard in free agency. He's not a very good right tackle. And we basically just have the black Caleb Mccreary on the team.
Oh.
In the wrong, basically Mccreary in the wrong, the offensive lineman in the wrong spot.
Okay, so basically we have fighting words sometimes.
we got so basically we just be taking. We already have where his position is. We already basically have that filled, and I trust that Terry signs at least a decent starter in free agency for left guard. So
true.
It's qualified for be Akeem. That's why I say Akeem for me.
Okay. I can agree. And I say that because most of the left guards in the NFL, they're you got perennial left guards, but if you want to get a serviceable left guard, they're actually contract wise a little cheaper than your left and right tackle. So yeah, okay, I can agree with that.
Now, if this does end up happening, if Akeem ends up being an all-pro left tackle, I will literally come on the show and say I was wrong about this dude. But I think Jake Matthews has got his position set after how good of a season he had last season.
Ooh, well, Akeem is gone.
You see how slow Noah is racing that? He was like, "Damn."
Well, it's just, when you compare Akeem Ekwonu to, like, Jermaine Johnson, who some people have going in the second round, or, Drake London, who can be falling in the teens, and then you have what Trey was saying earlier, like, Akeem Ekwonu was almost battling for Evan Neal for the number one spot in the draft. And if you're going best player available and you see all these guys on the board and you're saying Akeem is the weakest link of them, I'm very surprised at that. But hey, I'm going to just take this opportunity to raise my camera up again once more, balance myself up here, and add, let's just say another guy on the offensive line. Let's go.
I feel like I know who you're about to put.
So the center out of Iowa.
Yep.
Great
Linderbaum.
Great pass protector. He has a high motor. He's really serviceable. Oh, he's above average in the run offense, running ball. My only issue is, let me ask you this question, Trey and Noah. Do you feel that he's very undersized at 290?
Yes. I mean.
Okay. Well, so was Jason Kelsey.
Okay.
So is Rodney Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
So is what was that? Allen Krutz from the Bears.
Okay.
Alex Mack.
So is Alex Mack.
Now, what I will say though is, now Matt Hennessy is 310. That Patriots game,
he got manhandled.
I don't know if y'all saw this play. So basically, this was in the third quarter or the second quarter. My bad.
Yeah, I think it was a 4th-and-1.
Yes.
And you would have believed that Matt Hennessy was taking a 7-step drop back after play action.
Yes.
He literally got put. It was the crazy thing is, it was a handoff on 3rd and 1.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a play action on 3rd and 1. He's all the way back near to where Matt Ryan was committing to the play action. I'm like, what? How are you back there? I can see if it was the tight end. Tight ends usually get blown up like that across defensive ends, but
not your center.
Not just you can't. Your center has to be your most physical player on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you say. Your center has to be the most physical player and nasty player on your team.
On the team, yes.
Because if he's not, that messes up Matt Ryan, that messes up the rest of the O-line, that messes up the running game, and that basically messes up the entire offense. And it was just, not to take up too much time, but it was another play. It was against the who was that again? I think it was against the Lions. It was just a straight up like shotgun pass. It's 3rd and 7.
Oh, Reed.
He literally he snaps the ball. One, he's flat-footed. I don't see how a center is flat-footed 16, 17 games into the season, but he's flat-footed. And then he gets pushed. He got pancaked.
A'Shawn Robinson. Yeah, A'Shawn Robinson did that too. I seen that play. It was, oh my God, it was so ugly.
I was like, man, no, like that, like I said, that can't happen. You're the center. You're supposed to be pancaking dudes. You're not supposed to be on your back, dude. And the thing is, he's just sitting there, just like, dang, I really just got put in my seating chair and told to sit down like I was a child or something.
Yeah, but then again, Trey, they go back to your thing with Terry Fontenot with Noah. That we don't draft for need. So what we're talking about right now, we need a serviceable center, correct? But of course, you already know Linderbaum. We talk about Noah about mid to late teens.
Most likely, some have them slipping into like towards where the Bengals and the Rams pick.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it.
We got Vlad here. Vlad, I'm sorry not to cut you out. It would be a great time if you were to give some advice, because we have some tiebreakers that we would need to be settled and have some more opinions on there. That,
or if you wanted to hop on, links in the chat.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but it's there. It's still there for anyone else too. I'm not just trying to call Vlad out, but I just happened to see his comment. Okay. Well, are we gonna try to get Linderbaum off here?
I want to see what the next guy is.
All right, because again, like, we don't have to like immediately eliminate these guys. We can kind of keep them on the board and just see what other names I'll throw out there first. Because we still got Devin Lloyd, Devontae Wyatt, Drake London, Jermaine Johnson, and now Linderbaum. All right, because I get that I can't get everyone else on the same shot, but okay. I think it's time for me to add another name because I don't want this to last forever.
Yeah.
Again, this is just prospects. I got to fill out 30 spots, so I know that you guys may have had the same idealisms, but
Nakobe Dean, okay, linebacker.
He's on the board.
So for me, so we'll make this last long, then it will be Nakobe Dean have to come off. He is not better than Devin Lloyd. I tell you that now.
Yeah. Now of course his really I say the only two things he's better at is his leadership and his explosiveness. But other than that, Devin Lloyd's better in pass coverage, run defense, blitzing, playing the gap. He did it countless times.
Yeah, Nakobe has a low floor. Devin has a high ceiling.
Nakobe Dean, like his max is like Deion Jones. And Devin Lloyd's max is like Bobby Wagner. And if you're telling me I can get Bobby, now not to disrespect Deion Jones is a great linebacker, but if you're telling me I can get a younger and faster Bobby Wagner, I'm taking that 100% out today. So yeah, I'm going with Nakobe Dean too.
All right, Vlad is here. He's going to be our tiebreaker guy.
How's it going, y'all?
What's going on, Vlad?
Good.
Same old.
So you get the gist of what we're doing here?
No idea.
Really? All right. Well, we're doing a Royal Rumble, but we're doing it with draft prospects. All right. Basically, my idea is to forget that we're picking at 8. I just want to go on a draft board and just see who would you rather have on the Falcons on the first round. I'm just going to list a bunch of first round prospects, and at the end of the stream, we gotta have an agreement on the guy that we want.
Okay.
So as we're going to continue this conversation, I'm going to remove people from the board. I'm going to add people from the board. That's exactly what I was about to do right now. And we're going to, talk about why we prefer this guy over another. And, we'll see how it goes from there. If you need more explanations, Trey and Jarvis, they've done a great job so far at following along with the rules. So you can go from there. As you guys do that, I'm just going to add another name.
Yeah, the COVID thing's definitely off.
So this is where I get pissed off at, because we got rid of Eco, and I'm like, you put Keon Green up there, and I know Trey's gonna go, well, he's an actual guard. True enough, he's an actual guard. I seen him get blown up a good bit at Texas A&M. Does all the offensive linemen in the draft coming out even kneel? Do they need some work? Of course, that the first year players, but I don't know about Kenyon Green. Really, I don't.
Some tell me Kenyon Green could either end up like Chris Lindstrom, to where he's kind of that underrated piece, or end up like James Carpenter.
See, that's who Green reminds me of, is more like a Lindstrom coming out. Like, he'd be one of them sneaky picks that, the Falcons could make, like maybe like in the mid-teens, but, not at 8. At 8, I've always been a big fan of the secondary in this class. Like, I believe that's, especially since Dean Pease loves, like, his big corners that he can put on an island and, all that good stuff. So I'm a big fan of like a corner, and like, it's no secret that my favorite prospect for this whole draft is the kid out of Notre Dame. So
Cal Hamilton. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't added him to the list yet, so don't worry, he hasn't been eliminated. But who has been eliminated, in case you just tuned in, I had Ojabo at number 1, so he's off the board. I'm not going to add him anymore. Carl Loftus was eliminated. I had E. Kim that was eliminated. I had Trent McDuffie that was gone. And then I had Garrett Wilson that was gone. And then I had number 8. Who the heck was that? Charles Cross.
Yes.
I got no problem with any of those. I'm on board, honestly, with all that.
All right, and then just for reference, we have Devin Lloyd, Devontae Wyatt, Drake London, Jermaine Johnson, Tyler Linderbaum, N'Kobe Dean, and Kenyon Green. And again, we're just trying to figure out who's the weakest link out of the guys. So is it Kenyon Green or?
I honestly, I don't really care for Drake London. Like as far as at 8, like if he's there with that first, second round pick, cool, but not at 8.
Okay,
that's just me though.
For me,
Trey,
if we do take London, I'd probably trade back just because the difference between London and Evans is because Evans has speed to where he can kind of outrun guys a little bit. Drake London is probably going to run like a 4.5. To be honest, he's going to run like a mid 4.5, maybe a 4.49.
So Trey, let me ask you this question right here, and Noah and Vlad yourselves. So do you think Christian Watson from up there at North Dakota is a little bit better refined product than Drake London?
Not so much as his contested catches, but everything else pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's the main selling point for London personally is the contested catch ability. Like just to go up and get it, basically have somebody kind of like pair with Pitts. It has kind of the same kind of skill set like that.
Yes.
Would be really nice. So it's my main selling point. But like I like if we're gonna take a receiver, I've always been more of a fan of the receiver in the second round. Somebody like a Bell or somebody. But that's just me though.
I wouldn't. The thing with that is, what if we end up trading Ridley for a first? Because that's going to be the main thing in this too. We don't know what Ridley is going to be traded for.
Don't worry. I'll have an idea for that, because if we come down to the final 2 guys and we can't decide, that will be the idea. It's like, oh, hey, all right, it's official. We need to get a first-round pick before the draft happens, so that way we can get both of these guys, because we really can't agree. So I have your idea for that.
I'm kind of wondering if the Falcons are setting up the Ridley trade for next year, like a first for next year. That way they can set up to like trade up for maybe a QB they're looking at in next year's class.
That's a possibility, Vlad. Or also, you got to look at it too. That team that you're trying to get to take on Calvin Ridley for a trade, they got to take on that $11.5 million fifth round, what they call a 5th-year option as well. So what if that team goes, you know what, we'll give your ass a second and we'll take on the contract. We're not going to give you a first, because what if he pulls this nonsense that he pulled? What I won't call it nonsense. Excuse me, I apologize. What if he pulls what he pulled this year on us, and now we just gave him a first-round pick?
See, that's why I think that they're setting up for more of a trade for next year, because it's like this year we'll take the contract and we'll give you our next year first, kind of like, divvying up the kind of like the weight that the other team's going to take on.
Understood.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then that way it'd give you, like, if kid out of Alabama, like they're like head over heels for that dude, it would give them ammunition to trade up, because they would have essentially 3 first-rounders at that point. That the one they get, the one for Ridley, and then the one next year, they could go up and get somebody like that if they wanted.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
All right, I gotta add some more names. So I gotta I want to try to make it easier. I don't know if this will make it easier, but here's just another name to add. DeMarvin, I like him. DeMarvin Leal out of Texas A&M.
See, Leal, I'm a fan of him, but I'm a fan of him like kind of like a Cam Jordan type of role. Like I don't see him as a defensive tackle in the league. Like
he's too small.
Ian. Yeah.
295, 6'2". I think he's 6'1".
He's a 6'4", 290.
Yeah, 6'4". Okay, 6'4", 290. Yeah,
he's got the height.
All right, let's remove someone. So is it Kenyon Green?
Yeah,
I'd say since we already have the right guard locked down, I'd say Green.
And now if he played left guard, then it would be Linderbaum.
Okay, he could play. I've been told that he's pretty versatile in order to play both guards and as well as right tackle.
But are you spending a first-round pick on a left guard? That was the question. Like
No.
right guard, I
Well,
can see
we
that,
did
you
with
know?
Chris Lindstrom.
Yeah, but he's a right guard though.
It's still the same position.
But the thing about it is, you put your right guard on an island more than you need your left guard. You normally direct your blockage with your center over to your left guard more than your right.
And I think the thing is that some people don't notice is back in New Orleans, the Saints really didn't take an offensive lineman till the third or fourth round. Like that was most of the time where they got their offensive lineman from was the third or fourth round, and you let them sit behind a veteran, and then in a year or two, you let them go out there. So for me, maybe one gets taken in the third, or no, yeah, like the third, like Jalen Mayfield last year. But what's probably going to end up happening is Terry Fontenot's going to bring that draft, some of that draft sense from the Saints, and not really take one to the third. Because really what you're looking at is what's happened with most of the first round O-linemen, other than, of course, Quinn Nelson. Now, he was a lock to be an all-pro. But other than that, what's happened with some of these offensive tackles, especially guards, taken in the first round? Most of them are free agents that aren't going to get signed for mega deals this season or last season. So they're probably going to end up, I'd probably say, take King and Green off.
Yeah. Now Penny isn't that the tackle out of
Yeah, Trevor Penning. I just added him.
Yeah, he was at Northern Iowa.
Northern Iowa.
He's a right tackle, and to be honest, Callum McCreary could end up place.
Okay, so am I gonna get a yes from everyone when is it okay to erase Kenyon Green?
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
I hear
that's
one
fine.
yeah. You're
That's
two
fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
I heard the second yeah again.
Yeah, King. We all say King is gone.
Okay. All right.
Penning's one of them guys. I was really liking him at the Senior Bowl. Like I like his nasty demeanor he has. So
Yeah,
like
he got up under their skin a little bit. He was getting them defensive lineman skin.
yeah, I really like that about him. So like he's one of them guys that I could like if he's like there in like the big top of the second, yeah. But I'm not in the first. Like I'm like really looking at like a difference maker on defense. But that's just me though.
For me, I'd probably have to say we probably take a Linderbaum right here.
Yeah.
Well, Linderbaum's on the ropes. Are we gonna wait?
For me, it's Nakobe Dean. I'm sorry.
Nakobe Dean's on the ropes too.
Crap.
Well, yeah. Now that Dean, it's either Dean or Lloyd or Linderbaum and Penning.
Because I think you guys made it pretty clear that Devin Lloyd would be the preferred linebacker over Nakobe Dean.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
are we?
Yeah, let's go.
We can only. All right. Nakobe Dean is off the board. He got eliminated.
Yeah.
Thrown over
Just
the
because
top ropes by
now
Devin.
Penning, Linderbaum and Penning are about the same, like talent wise, and the gap between talent between Lloyd and Dean and Linderbaum and Penning. Lloyd and Dean, it's just a bigger talent wise than what Linderbaum and Trevor are.
My question too is, as far as Linderbaum goes, is Arthur Smith really looking to bring in maybe somebody that he could familiarize his offensive line with his scheme a little bit better, kind of like
Ben Jones?
Yeah, exactly. Somebody, because I think if you get somebody like a Ben Jones that's extremely comfortable in an Arthur Smith system, it could possibly elevate like Mayfield on the left side there. Because then he like a Ben Jones could like simplify it for him, or could teach him the system way better. Because that not only was he Mayfield switching positions, not only did he not get many snaps at left guard, but then he was a brand new system for him. So like he had like everything stacked against him. And I'm wondering if somebody like bringing somebody like that in could help solidify the system a little bit better for Mayfield.
Okay, or now here we go with this bullshit again. Okay, so you put in Chris
Olave.
So we unlike his counterpart, his partner in crime with Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave is a little bit on the smaller side. He's explosive, don't get me wrong. But like I said, I don't want another 9-route only person. Somebody who, who really don't want to go over the middle. But if they do go over the middle, it's more susceptible to getting those concussions going over the middle because he's gonna get his head taken off. Would I like him on the team? I would like him more on the team as a slot receiver versus the number 1 or number 2.
I mean, yeah, I can't really, yeah.
Now, the thing is, though, speed does kill. So I wonder if they look at that too, to where.
No. That's only the case when you're on the Raiders.
oh, yeah, my bad. Forgot about that one. 156 miles. My bad.
I was thinking Cliff Branch, but okay.
Yeah, that one too. I forgot about Cliff. But I wonder now, we all do know speed is starting to overtake the NFL.
See, the thing about speaking of slot receiver, though, if you're looking at somebody that's like a slot, I know this is going to sound crazy, but if you look at Treylon Burks, it's like snap count, most of his production came from the slot.
It did. Mm-hmm. And in the backfield.
Yeah. So, like I was saying,
I mean, does it help that he can make contested catches though? Now the thing is, he did go over the middle a little bit, but most of those were like kind of deep over routes. Now, can he go over the middle and take a hit? Yeah, he's done that plenty of times. Mm-hmm. But I want to see. I gotta see him. Of course, you have to see any wide receiver do it. But of course, he's about 6 feet, 6'1", 200, 205. So most of the time, if you do draft him, Art's gonna have him running away from guys instead of running towards them. So I also want to see that too. But he's a tough kid. He can takes a couple of hits. It's just, what about that big hit?
I didn't even know he was 205. I thought he was about a buck 92 at the most.
That's why I was like, if they're gonna get some guy to play slot, that's why I brought up Burks. Like, I would take Treylon Burks over Chris Olave any day if you're looking for a pure slot. But I think you're looking for more of an X guy. So
the linebacker out of Penn State there, Arnold. I like him. He reminds me of what's that?
Fede Way.
I'm trying to think of the damn name of the linebacker.
Have y'all talked about the corner class this year, like the top end, like Gardner and all them yet?
Oh no,
I haven't added them yet, but I'm waiting. Don't worry.
Okay.
I gotta savor some of the bigger names for last.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this secondary class.
So that's why I gotta find some names to fill up on here. All right, so again, Drake London or Chris Olave. Let's make this decision.
Drake London.
Yeah,
I would keep him.
So take London, remove Olave.
Yeah, I'd say get rid of Olave.
That's 1 yes, 2 yes.
That's fine. Mm-hmm.
2 yes. All right, Olave's gone. Penning.
Because like you said earlier, man, you can't teach size, man.
Penning, he's still here. Is that okay
take
with everyone?
Linderbaum off if we're going to do that.
Ooh, Linderbaum. Remove him?
The thing about Linderbaum is if we didn't actually draft, if we were going to actually super need of a center, then I'd say leave him. But the fact that, Ben Jones could come to town, the fact that we have Hennessy, the fact that we have
Drew Dahlman.
So it's like, I don't really see Linderbaum being the pick just based on, a need perspective.
And you're right. You're right, Vlad. And I think
also, I got to lower the camera, y'all.
And I think Penning is a better prospect than Mccreary. So,
well, that, and you got to look at it from this point of view too. Mccreary is going to be up for a contract, and are you really going to be paying Gary what kind of money he's going to be asking?
Oh, hell no, Mr. Skate on Ice. Oh, hell no.
Exactly. I'm telling Mccreary.
You would think that Caleb Mccreary gets his cleats from Sonic, like from the rollerblades, man. Just
the second McGarry asks for money, I'm gonna laugh at him and tell him to kick rocks. Based on that alone, I say
no, he'll slip doing it because it involves his feet.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, based on those last 3 games, when McGarry just was that the Lions game where he got bull rushed and kind of just thrown out of the way?
He did.
I don't get how you're that
after
big.
that game, I was like, I don't care how you get rid of this man, trade him, cut him.
I already told you, hey Trey, I'm telling you right now, if I see Thomas Dimitroff walking down the street, I'm gonna hit him in his shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like this man done.
Byron. I mean, you had Byron Murphy and dudes like that available.
So is Linderbaum off?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take him off.
All right, Linderbaum is gone.
But if we're looking at like a pure talent standpoint, all things not considered, like Linderbaum's probably one of the most talented like players in his class. So it's no hit on him just for the Falcons. I don't think so.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Jermaine Johnson, is he the weakest guy so far?
No, if you look at Jermaine Johnson and Arnold, then I think I take Jermaine Johnson.
I think the thing Arnold? I think that we're probably gonna go Arnold, but I think the thing with Arnold for me is he's kind of exactly like his former teammate. No production. I think he only had 2.5 sacks this year.
Yeah,
he had a lot of pressure. He just never got home, and that's something that.
Oh, I'm hearing a lot of buffer.
Uh-oh.
Hear
you
me
still there, Trey?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, but like I was saying, he's kind of like his former teammate. He has some film, but it's not like mad film to where he had like 5 plus 6 plus sacks. He only had 3.5, and
he's a good depth piece.
Yeah, he's a good depth piece,
but just not a first rounder.
Yeah, second, third round, I definitely take him.
Now Lewis Seen out of Georgia, that's safety.
Strong.
So Vlad, what do you rank Lewis Seen? Where you rank Lewis Seen at, Vlad? Because
first of all, do I gotta remove Arnold?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you remove Arnold.
All right, Arnold's gone.
Lewis, I'd say he's like that, maybe like mid-second round guy. But if like you were able to get him in like the top of the third, that would be a steal.
Sorry, but am I hearing someone's heartbeat?
Are you?
I'm not anymore. Thanks, Trey.
But,
all right. You talk about Lewis Seen, I'm going to add another name.
So Lewis Seen to me, he so that first Alabama Georgia game that they had, it wasn't a good deal for him in the SEC championship game. Okay, so, but he played a little bit better in the championship game. I should say that. I would have to do a little bit more digging on him to see a whole body, see his whole body of work from day one of the season to where he ended up at. But I mean, if you're looking for that depth piece, or you're looking for a stopgap guy, Lewis Seen will fit in.
All right, I just added Roger Mccreary from Auburn.
Yeah, I like him. Good corner.
He's a very good press man corner.
Yeah, good corner.
The thing I like with him is he isn't really scared of top talent like you think some corners in the SEC would be. He actually likes the more top heavy wide receivers that are going to go in the first and second round. Just because I think he likes that competition, and I like that out of him, that he's not scared of anybody. He'll take on your best guy, and he might not lock him down completely, but he's not just gonna let you. If he makes a play, that play had to be special. And I think for me, his ball skills are great, his man skills are great. Now his own skills could get a little bit better, but like I said, like me and Driver said, I think Dean, once he gets his number 2 corner, he's probably going to start playing a lot more man than we saw last year. So for me, if you're going to take off somebody right here, I'd probably say Lewis Sing.
Yeah, Lewis Sing got to go for me because let me ask you this, Noah. Let me ask you this. So
Yeah.
your top three corners. You got Sauce. Let's talk about your top 2, Sauce and Sting, right? What does Mccreary have that those two corners don't have? For me, and I'm an LSU fan, so for me, I like Stingley, but it's some games where he didn't seem like one of the best players on the field. And I noticed that with a lot of college athletes who are trying to go, you know what, I don't really want to get hurt this year because I want to go to the league. So I understand, but of course he dealt with injuries as well. So I don't want to beat him up too bad. But there's some games I'll be like, what's going on with Stingley? With Mccreary, from what I seen, it was like, yes, we know. I go to Auburn, we suck, but guess what? Though, just because we suck, don't mean I can't put on a show out here. He put on a show.
I kind of feel the same way too. Like if it's not a corner in the first round, like Mccreary or McDuffie, you're like the 2 guys I'm looking at. So I 100% agree there.
Yeah, we already got rid of McDuffie.
Gotcha.
All right. So out of these 2, is Lewis going?
Yeah, Lewis.
Yeah.
All right, Lewis has been eliminated, and I'm gonna take this time to add another name. I don't know.
Hey, Noah, do you like Mccreary?
I don't know enough about him. It's a bit difficult because I'm trying to. Because it's not just the first round that I'm thinking of. Like I'm studying like position groups, and I'm going like deep into those instead of just like trying to skim through everyone.
True.
I'm gonna save that, and I'm gonna add this guy because I don't think we talked about him yet.
Drake Jackson, the defensive end out of SC.
Yeah, Drake Jackson. For those that can't see it,
he does a disappearing act a good bit. I like him. I think he has some good tenacity when he wants to play, but he does do some disappearing act.
Yeah, that's kind of my biggest thing with him too. Is he is kind of up and down.
He's kind of like what Jordan Davis was.
Lots still wondering, hey, why the heck is Devin Lloyd up on here still?
Because for me, Drake, he's a good player. Pass rush, he's not really the most complete guy. He's still a little raw. He does need a little bit more pass rush skills, and I do think he needs to add a little bit more bulk to be a pure defensive end the way he wants to. But even as a 3-down defensive end, he like you guys said, he still kind of does disappear a lot. And sometimes in the big moments of the game is when you really need him. So that's a kind of a knock on me for him. Plus his motor was high end last year. I don't know what happened this year, if he just didn't feel like giving 100%. Like Jarvis said, he didn't feel like, getting injured, getting ready to go to the league. But his motor kind of seemed like it wasn't as high as it was.
I like a guy like Kingsley Ingenbar actually better than Drake Jackson personally.
Yes, the South Carolina product is pretty good. Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if you can see it, but I just added 21 there. Malik Willis.
Malik faded down the end of the season. He started off hot, throwing, making the necessary reads to put his team in position to win. As you notice, if you look at the statistics, he threw 7 interceptions over the last, I think, 4 or 5 games. So, and his ability to read the defense kind of killed it off a good bit towards the end. So, I think he has a high floor. I don't know what his ceiling is. That's the problem for me.
The thing about Malik Willis is it's one of them players. It's like Atlanta would be like the ideal spot for him because he's got all the physical traits that you could ever ask for, right? Mm-hmm. He just needs to learn to be a little bit more I guess I don't know if I'm trying to think of cerebral, maybe like Matt Ryan could teach him how to be a little bit more like
cerebral,
that.
how to read a defense. And
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
how to read a defense and how to be that pocket passer. Do I see the Falcons taking him at 8 this year?
No.
Now Thibodeau, Kayvon Thibodeau need his ass kicked. I'm gonna tell you why he need his ass kicked. So he need his ass kicked because I watched him, before the injuries and stuff. So my thing with Kayvon, unlike Aiden Hutchinson, he'll take a lot of plays off. And you go into this league and you're trying to get into the NFL and you're trying to be this at least top 3 pick, and you're taking plays off. It's the same thing that happened with Jadeveon Clowney at that last year, taking plays off. Yeah, he had the big hit, knocked somebody's helmet off against Michigan. I don't care about none of that. Are you consistently playing at a level that is worthy of where you're trying to go? I like Kayvon Thibodeau. Don't get me wrong, but it's his motor. What is his intentions? Is his intentions to get into the league, that first paycheck, and be like, you know what, I got paid. I don't give a damn no more.
All right, it's great and crowded, guys. I got to remove some people before I add another name. All right.
For me, I'm gonna have to say Malik because right now it seems like we need to eliminate at least 3 people.
I'd say Malik or Drake. That's just me though.
Yeah, Malik.
No,
London or Jackson.
Let's go Drake Jackson.
Drake Jackson.
Drake Jackson. Everyone agrees.
Yeah.
All right, thank goodness. I couldn't see him on the board anyways.
One more guy.
Trey, you gotta fix your mic.
He got kicked off.
I'll blow at him just a second. Who else? You guys said Malik?
Yeah, I'd probably say Malik.
Malik Jackson come off.
If we were a little bit more complete, then I would have no issue taking Malik. But the fact that we are, a good ways away from being a complete team,
we're missing a team.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say Malik Willis.
All right,
now don't get us wrong. I know I ain't taking Carson Strong over Malik, but
I mean Malik's after he was down there in Alabama. Like Malik's my favorite QB of this class. So don't get it twisted. I really like him.
If he was there in the 3rd, or the 2nd, I'll take him. But
all right, guys.
Not at 8.
Jordan Davis. Well, remember, picking at 8 doesn't matter.
Oh, true.
Okay.
Now, talent.
I got it.
You're the most talented player left on this.
Trey, one more time. You got to fix your mic.
Yeah. Then for me, talent-wise, no matter where on the board, I don't know about you, Vlad, but I'm looking at Drake London.
Yeah.
Drake London is going. You guys are both saying that. Trey, I might have to speak for him just because they'll just be muffled. All right, Trey London is gone.
That hurt my feelings, but oh well.
All right, well, hey, don't worry because I got to add another name.
Treylon Burke. Well,
he finally made the ring.
Then, with that being said, that's rough for me.
Hey, these are. I wanted to get to the home stretch. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of time, but at the same time, I know we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more players I'm going to add on this board.
Yeah. Vlad, I'm looking at Marvin Lil. I like him. I love his game.
Yeah, I'd say probably Lil. He's one of them guys you take probably the 2nd round if you can get your hands on him. But that'd be about it though.
Oh jeez.
What
Hey,
kills
everyone
him?
ignore the fact that I just said SAUS and try to spell sauce.
Yeah, I see.
All right. So Leo's gone.
Yeah, he's more of that. What hurts him the most is that he's a tweener.
Well, I mean, with those situations, he's either a tweener or he's a neither.
He kind of reminds me of the dude that went to San Francisco a couple years ago. He was all about Star Wars and whatnot. Crap. He's about the same size. I'll think of his name in a second. But
You talking about
Solomon Thomas?
Ken Law?
yeah, Thomas.
Oh, Thomas. Oh, yeah, Thomas.
That's who Leo kind of reminds me of, Solomon Thomas.
Yeah, Solomon. Yeah, he can go.
All right. Marvin Leo's gone, and I still don't see Trey coming back. Oh, no. Trevor Penning is making it this far on the list, huh?
I like his game, man. I like his feistiness. Like Vlad said, I like that he pissed off offensive line, defensive linemen.
Yep.
All right, 26. Some other names I was saving. Well, you guys think about who else can leave.
You put Sauce up there, then it's Mccreary.
Okay. Vlad? Am I getting rid of Mccreary?
Yeah, I'd say he has to go at this point. I'm gonna tell you right now, like I'm a huge fan of Sauce. So like, just yeah, he'll be up there for a while as long as I'm concerned.
It's not a knock on. No, it's not a knock on McCreary. I'll give you. I know you say you don't know much about McCreary, so I'll give you an insight or a small. Let me see. Can I throw a bone at you? So you know Dean, the cornerback that played for the Buccaneers, right?
Yeah, Jamel Dean.
Jamel Dean, number 35. Just think about that body size, but a little bit better.
He had what was it? I think he was targeted 76 times and only gave up like 35 catches in his college career.
Mm-hmm.
So. All right. Well, Trey, since you're back here, we got rid of DeMarvin Leal. We got rid of Drake London, and then we just got rid of Roger McCreary.
All right, I'm good with all of those.
Man, how many times in a row are we gonna have audio issues?
This mic's still messed up.
It's good now.
Hey, you sounded better now. Keep it that way as much as you can.
Got it.
All right, you guys do that.
Oh, we got Sauce on the board now.
Oh.
All right, Trevor Penning's got to go.
Trevor Penning's gone.
Yeah.
Now you get to the more talented personnel. So
yeah, I'd say Penning. Yeah, Penning.
Penning
right.
Can get going. Yeah.
Penning, you lasted a lot longer than I thought you would, but
I like Penning. The dude's nasty.
Okay.
He's the type of player. Unlike the rest of our teams, with the exception of somebody like Lindstrom, he's the type of player. If Matt Ryan gets hit, he's in the defensive lineman face off shit to him.
Exactly.
At least I know Chris Lindstrom's like
Bucks game when he kind of just
you have
the ball and he just blasted him for no reason. Lindstrom had a
couple words with him, but
Matthews is he's not nasty.
Your mic went out again, Trey.
Hear me still?
Yeah, it's going in and out.
Yeah. For me, not Lindstrom. Matthews is kind of like that guy that's nasty. I mean, not nasty. He's physical, but not nasty. Yeah. But I kind of feel like we need more guys on that O-line that if Matt Ryan has that hit to where it's like, hey, man, like, why would you do that? There's no reason for that. I need you to, go defend my quarterback. I don't need the D-line feeling like they can just do that every play.
Yeah, for sure. Kingsley, that's the South Carolina kid. So, Noah, let me ask you this question: Do you think he's better than Jermaine Johnson?
Ooh. That's tough. I mean, to me, they're almost on the same level. I'd probably give the slight edge to Jermaine, probably because he's done more to improve his draft stock more recently.
Mm-hmm.
So that the recency bias is definitely going to come into play here when it comes to picking one or another.
See, when I look at prospects, I always look at what they do down in Alabama, and like it's not even close for me. Like Jermaine is way ahead of Kingsley, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Kingsley goes on this one.
I mean, at this point though, no, I think we can leave him up there until you put somebody up there to be like, oh shit, he's come on.
Well, let's throw another name up there while we're at it. You already know.
You already know.
You would do that shit. Take Kingsley off here.
Kingsley.
Hey, this is a part of it, you know?
Yeah.
Not everyone can win. We only got one draft pick right at the moment, so we got to make these tough decisions.
It sure wasn't going to be Kingsley when you added Hamilton.
Man, Devin, I can't. Man, who was I don't know how much you guys remember wrestling. Who was a guy that's made it to 3 and won it? I can't remember.
Who's the guy? What now?
In the WWE, who was someone that was like came in at 3 and won the whole thing?
I haven't watched a WWE episode.
Yeah, I ain't watched Royal Rumble in a long time.
Man, I haven't watched wrestling since like the early 2000s.
I'm just
if
gonna go
I can
ahead and say that it's probably someone like Chris Jericho that has done it.
Yeah. If I
Jericho,
it was either Jericho
or Christian or Tess, one of them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
It
was either Jericho, Randy Orton, or I forgot his name.
See, I stopped watching wrestling before Randy Orton even started wrestling.
Yeah, me too. I was a Stone Cold Steve Austin fan.
Oh yeah, my favorite wrestler of all time probably is like Mankind. I just like what he can.
Mick Foley.
Yeah, you gotta love Mick Foley. Austin was good though too. He get a crowd hype.
Oh yeah. Him and damn Kurt Angle.
Yep.
Okay. Well.
Okay, you put Evan Neal up there.
Kayvon, go.
Yeah, for me, I can do without Kayvon. I'm sorry.
It's between Kayvon and Burks personally, but I'd probably say Kayvon.
Burks is going this early. Okay.
I'd probably say Kayvon just because like I don't like it when players have these stories come out about them about their like, are you willing to go out there and do the extra work it takes to actually succeed in the NFL?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not willing to go out there and put that work in, this league will eat you and it will not say sorry for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, based on that, I'd probably say Kayvon, yeah.
I just got a feeling he's going to turn into a Jadeveon Clowney.
Or Tech McKinley.
Oh, hey, man, don't say that name. That's a curse, man. You cussed.
You just cursed at us. Knowing what was attached to that, knowing we passed on friggin' the name that shall not be said.
Man, when all I would say is I didn't even watch NFL Honors because I knew he was going to win Defensive Player of the Year. And as soon as I looked on Twitter and I saw him win it, I was like, I wanted to punch Dimitri off in the nuts even more.
It's a Watt brother. How hard was it to, you know what I mean? Like
he had injury problems coming out. He had talks about his motor not being there, the work not being there.
Man, that man could have been missing his left foot. He could have just had a stump, and I still would have took him. Yep. You know he was still going to get it. So I never understood that.
Yeah.
So,
It is what it is, though, right?
But hey, that's why the Metro doesn't have a job right now. We all do.
That's right.
so who's number 30?
Oh.
Last guy.
Hey, eliminate someone first before I put it up.
It's gonna have to be Burks.
Yeah,
I mean, no, not.
Yeah, you can take down Treylon Burks, take them off.
It's between Burks or Davis for me.
For me, it's between Burks, Davis.
Hold on, no, for me, it has to be Davis. I like Jordan Davis, but he's not a 3 down off defensive lineman.
Yeah. I like Devontae Wyatt. I like his upside as an athlete better. Because I mean, when you look at like Jordan Davis's like pass rushing production, like from PFF, for example, like he wasn't a pass rushing nose tackle. Like if you're gonna if you're gonna be on this kind of a list right here, you're gonna have to give me some pass rush. And he's
26 and he's 26 years old, so take him on off of that.
Wait a minute,
I don't know if
what?
that's true, but all right,
I mean,
Jordan Davis is gone. They all got together and they removed.
Some noise.
Yeah. You know, I'm just gonna move Devin Lloyd. I can't deal with it with the camera.
That is cool.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't expect them to make it this far.
I mean, I like Lloyd. Like he's probably my favorite linebacker in this class.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And it's not even close.
Just based off of talent, I think he's a top 10 player in this draft.
Yeah, he's legit.
all right, fine.
I mean, the top 3 is going to be on the right there, if you ask me. No, I'm just playing.
Well, one
No.
who's got to go, and that's Devontae Wyatt.
Yeah,
it's going to hurt me to say this. But it's going to have to be Derek Stingley.
I just don't know, man. If you get a 90% Stingley in the NFL, that's basically AJ Terrell level already. Like they're second or third year. You're telling me
I see your point. Like I said, me being an LSU fan and watching him over the years and watching how he plays, I don't really. I had the same question like I got with Kayvon. It's like some days some weeks you show up. I'm not saying that you're playing terrible, but I don't see the 100%.
Man, there's some literal drama from Mucho Grundy. It is awesome.
See, you literally could draft Stingley and get you a Stephon Gilmore. You know what I mean? Like
True.
But at the same time, it's like,
you could also get that in Sauce too.
That's what I'm saying. Well, yeah, like Sauce reminds me, like you could draft a Sauce and get like a Richard Sherman. Like,
yes. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy what you could like.
So is it Stingley that's going to be removed right now?
To be honest, now what we do have to understand though is, who would you rather have on the D line though, Jermaine Johnson or Devontae Wyatt?
For the Falcons, Jermaine, just because we have Grady.
Yeah.
And Devontae
and Grady as a duo that work together.
No, but you got essentially the same people. So where's your nose tackle? That should put Devontae out on the edge next to Grady?
You can get that later in the draft.
I mean, man, Travis Jones.
Somebody like Jones from Connecticut?
Yeah, Travis Jones is 6'5", 330, 340.
That's still an option. I mean, I've been preaching Marquand McCall for a while.
True. And he's like a third, fourth round talent.
What's the cat out of Oklahoma?
Perion Winfrey.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing about a nose tackle. If you're looking just for a 2-down nose tackle, you could get those all through the draft, right? So
that's true.
So I'm not really sweating. And like I was saying, since we already basically have that penetrating, like basically 3-tech with Grady, so yeah, I'd probably say Devontae Wyatt.
Take him off.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I'll draft Wyatt and get rid of my damn Davidson.
Well, yeah, you're not going to get any pushback from that.
I mean, Davidson's gone regardless. Even if we don't take any other linemen, like that, it was just terrible.
We all good
right.
on Wyatt?
Wyatt is gone.
All right.
All right, we got Devin Lloyd, Traylon Burks, Kyle Hamilton, Evan Neal, Jermaine Johnson, Sauce Gardner, Derek Stingley, and Aiden Hutchinson.
So for me, it'll be either Traylon Burks or Derek Stingley.
I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna have to go with Stingley here, just because I think Sauce is really the best corner in the draft.
Stingley's one of them guys that, out of any prospect this entire draft, like, end of story, he's the one I'm torn on the absolute. He's probably the one prospect I'm torn on. I've been torn on probably worse than any prospect in the last 3 or 4 years, just because his upside is so insane, but like his downside is like not even top 15. Like, so just based on that, yeah, I need something guaranteed on this team because we need talent. We don't need to gamble.
Derek Stingley is gone.
I mean, it hurts, man, because I think he got all the talent in the world, like Vlad said. But just the same question I got with Kayvon, what are you willing to give the NFL? You already showing that you're injury prone. Okay, already your sophomore year and your junior year, you show that you're injury prone. So what are we getting here? Are we getting the 90% that Trey was talking about earlier, or are we getting this person that'll come in the first 3 games, tears ACL, and now we just without a corner now?
Yeah, like, are you going to be like a Caleb Farley, or are you going to be like a JC Horn?
Yeah. So
see, that's the thing. If we were in a better position to take a gamble on a guy, it would be Stingley all day. But we're just not right now. Like, we need talent. We don't need to take gambles right now. We need some guaranteed players.
I think that's why we took KP last year, because we knew KP was a not missed prospect, and especially in this Arthur Smith system, where tight ends are predominantly the main usage, or at least a big part of it. We knew he wasn't going to be a miss, and right now, just these players that we have left, we know are going to be great players in the future. Now, not to say the guys that we eliminated, especially Stingley, aren't going to be great players, but I know Sauce is going to be a top 10, top 15 corner in 2-3 years. I know Aiden Hutchinson is going to be a top 10 defensive lineman. I know Kyle Hamilton is going to be the best safety in the league in a couple of years. I just don't know that about Stingley, because I don't know if the dude's going to tear his ACL stepping on a pebble during practice.
So Noah, with that being said, just erase everybody else's name up there and leave Kyle Hamilton.
Well, let's still talk about this though, because I mean, you got a linebacker, wide receiver, safety, left tackle, corner, and 2 pass rushers. So you basically have one of each of these positions except 2, and this one's going to be the toughest in order to try to get.
We basically have to trade up to 1 to get him.
Yeah. So is Aiden for us worth 1?
No, I'm not. Because basically what you're saying is you're trading your 3 seconds that you're saying that we trade Kevin for a second, first round pick for next year, a second for next year, and a player just to get 1 pass rusher that we don't know if he's going to work. He's probably most likely is going to work, but we don't know if he's going to work. Yeah, just give me my 4 top 50 draft picks. I'll take that.
I'm always under the umbrella. I want as many swings at the bat when it comes to the draft as humanly possible. So,
yes.
No, thank you.
And giving up assets is not going to give you them options.
Especially when a team that needs heavy talent on both sides.
The only exception to that rule is if you're trying to get your quarterback. That's the only time I'm trading up.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I'm good.
Aiden Hutchinson, the man I was trying to save for a while, because I had to make some tough decisions, because I know that we were going to think. I know I was going to try to mention a bunch of pass rushers, right? And I didn't want it to be like, oh, well, he's no Aiden Hutchinson, so I didn't want to have that impossible comparison be made all the time.
I just kind of feel that since you got rid of Aiden, I mean, does that mean Jermaine goes too?
Yeah, for me. Everybody else up here is better than Jermaine at this point.
Yeah.
Now Trey Line, it's like a slight better just because Trey Line can play anywhere at the wide receiver position. He can play Z, the Y, the X, and can play it a little bit of running back too.
It would be, it basically would be between Burks and Jermaine, basically.
CK22 had a question. Could you throw Trevane Walker up there? I will in the second round edition of this. So tune in next time. Anyways, so Jermaine's go off the board?
Yeah.
That's fine. You can take him off the board.
All right. So
the reason I say that, though, is because Jermaine, he's a great defensive end. I think he's going to end up being a top 10 pick. But Treylon Burks gives you so much versatility at the wide receiver position that you haven't had since Julio. Now, not to say he's going to end up being Julio, but just because he plays slot, outside left, outside right, a little running back here and there, can be a little scat back. I've seen him return a couple of punts. He's got speed. His hands are great. Contested catches. I mean, he's just a complete wide receiver. And really, he's probably going to end up going next just because I think Devin Lloyd is better. But to be honest, I think he's a top 10. I think he's a top 7 player in this draft.
So at this point, like, what's our thought process here? Are we going to go based off of talent? Because it's going to be a really hard thing picking hairs, splitting hairs when it comes to these decisions. Or are we going to go based off of how easy it could be for us to get them?
I think we go off of talent.
I mean, if you're going to, honestly, you could really, if you could do, talent or, how easy it is to get them right now. Because, you can look at, if you're gonna judge it on that, I think Kyle Hamilton is the clear-cut winner here, just because, safety positions kind of devalued over your premium positions like tackle and edge and QBs and corners and stuff like that. So it's a really good possibility he falls to us at 8.
Yeah, so he's this year's unicorn, like Cal Pitts was last year. So here's the thing: you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So if you don't re-sign Isaiah Oliver, you sign him, right? Not saying Isaiah Oliver can cost you a pretty penny, because you can probably bring him back on a 1-year deal, maybe $2.5 million, something like that. But he can play the Isaiah Oliver role, and he can play your strong or free safety role. And plus, you got Richard Grant still on the roster, and you got Jalen Hawkins. So let's say you put them 2 back at safeties, and let him play that rovering role that Isaiah Oliver was playing at a much proficient level, at a better level, or with better talent level. So you could do that. I mean, the guy is a perennial player, or athlete that can come in and be an impact player from day one.
The thing about it too is that also you could basically just have Kyle Hamilton just kind of roam in the backfield at free safety, because Richie Grant's more like, as far as I see it, Richie Grant's a strong safety in this system.
Mm-hmm.
So
all right. So what's Evan Neal doing still up on the board here? What's our chances of getting him?
To be honest, I think you take him off just because we really don't need a left tackle. Now, I know based off of talent, you probably say, well, it's between him, Hamilton, and Burks. But he's just, are you really going to take Evan Neal when you basically don't? He doesn't fit anywhere else other than left tackle.
And you won't draft him at number 8 just to put him at right tackle. That makes no sense.
Yeah,
exactly. Not when you got like Trevor Penning, you could possibly get him like top of the second, or somebody like him. There's a few good tackles in this class.
All right. Evan Neal's gone. Oh, all right. So, with everything you guys have said about Kyle Hamilton, could Devin Lloyd do a similar role, or is he a bit too limited?
He could do a similar role
or could he do more just based off of his athleticism and knowing that he can pass rush better than Hamilton?
The thing about Hamilton though is like you could literally move him all over the place. Like you
can
put
him corner.
You could put him at corner. You could put him in the slot. You could play him at free safety, strong safety.
Linebacker.
You could have him blitz. Blitz at linebacker if you wanted to. Like he's so versatile.
For me, I
Okay,
think the
so it
next
seems
one
like
that goes is Sauce.
Yeah, it seems like he's the guy that's the most limited here.
So I mean,
So we're getting rid of Sauce.
he's the best corner in the draft in my opinion, but he's not that good in the slot. He can play on now. Maybe the best outside corner in this draft. But when you put him in the slot, he's good, but he's not like he is on the outside.
See, if you're looking to draft AJ Terrell, a partner on the outside, it's 100% Sauce Gardner. Like, there's no question for me.
Right.
The fact that he doesn't give you that versatility, though, I definitely say he is the one that has to go at the current moment.
Yeah, he's the weakest link right now.
Because I mean,
All right. Sauce is gone.
And damn, all three of the guys that's left are very versatile, and that's what makes it hard because it's like they give you so much, you know.
For me, I think it's because man, we need that playmaker or wide receiver, but my God, we need that playmaker on defense. We just need that dude that's going to set the tone on a play, like Aaron Donald did. Aaron Donald.
So is that Devin Lloyd?
So one, I think first I think we all agree that Treylon Burks is gone here, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and cheat. I'm gonna trade our two second round picks that we got, make it a first round pick. Trade really for a first round pick, and then keep our first round pick. So we're gonna draft Kyle, Treylon, and Devin.
Yeah.
Well, until I see that actually happen, I can't make that an official decision for the Falcons. This is a Royal Rumble. We can't have three winners. This isn't the first movie of Cars. All right, can't have a three-way tie.
The thing about you also got to realize too is it's like, you know, right now it's between Lloyd and Burks. Hamilton's already won it in my opinion, but
yeah, we could take off Burks.
But you gotta look at it this way too, that like we do have at least something at the linebacker position, where wide receiver, like, I mean, what do we really have there? Like,
Shit.
We have Frank Darby.
That's about
Frank
it.
Darby.
And that's it.
You see what I'm saying?
Noah trying to be funny. That shit ain't
Actually,
funny.
yeah. To be honest, let's go Devin Lloyd.
Yeah.
Let's go Devin Lloyd. Because we have, even if we do end up not signing Foye, we still have Walker and Dion. If we end up taking off Burks, you basically saying, hey, Frank Darby going to be a number 2 wide receiver for me. It's just Russell Gage all over again. And he'll probably be worse than Gage because he's not even better than OZ, as you see, or Sharp. He didn't have a start this season and only played 2 offensive snaps all season. So,
but Trey and Vlad, here we go. We back at it again. Terrafontenot don't draft for need.
That's the thing, though, right? Exactly.
And I already mentioned earlier on the stream too. It's like, hey, the wide receiver free agent class is loaded.
Yeah, Michael. I'm gonna just name a couple right now. So this is a long shot, but you have Devontae Adams. Now everybody else is signable. You have Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin, DJ Chark, Michael Gallup, James Washington, Christian Kirk. Who else? Juju, Zay Jones,
James Washington. I mean, that wide receiver class is loaded. So I think you can end up saying, okay,
maybe AJ Green.
Yeah, maybe AJ Green, but who really is going to sign him right now?
Being the fact that we don't have anything at wide receiver, I mean, I could literally see them probably taking a receiver in free agency and still drafting a guy.
Yeah, I like Christian Watson, man. I don't know about y'all. I like Christian Watson.
Yeah, I think we take him at 58 if he's still there.
Yeah, but
so does that mitigate the need for Burks this high?
Yeah.
There's no contest.
Not because Treylon isn't as talented as Hamilton, because he's nearly there. But when you say, okay, Kyle Hamilton can play safety, linebacker, free safety, cornerback, slot cornerback, and blitz, or you say, and he's the best player basically, maybe in the draft, and the safety class isn't really that loaded, or you say you have 10 free agent wide receivers that can be number 1, 2, or 3 guys, and then the wide receiver class this year is loaded too in the first, second, and third round. I think
Right,
it's
see,
ultimately at Hamilton.
Final thing.
That, and you got to look at it from the point of view too, like I said a minute ago, that these teams might devalue. The teams normally devalue safeties, so it's like the potential, like somebody that's that talented falling to us at 8 because he doesn't play a premium position is a lot higher than somebody like a Kayvon Thibodeau or an Aiden Hutchinson or an Evan Neal or so.
And plus, you don't know how quarterback needy certain teams could be too.
Yeah, we
So
could end
that
up
could
trading
push back some other prospects too. So what I'm asking for here, my final thing that I want to bring up here, could we stay at 8, or do we have to move up higher?
I think we could stay at 8.
I mean, we could stay. Honestly, like I'm firmly against trading up regardless. So I mean, if he's there at 8, cool. If not, then it's
straight.
It's whatever.
So if the draft happens, like where would you be scared? I was like, oh man, like this team better not take him.
4 with the Jets.
Yeah. No, number 3 with the damn Houston Texans.
Well,
yeah,
really, no. Well,
maybe.
the Texans need everything right now, so I could see them being stupid and taking Kayvon or Aiden. But the thing is, Lovie Smith, he loves bringing up that secondary first and the D line and front 7 last. And if he's,
both of those teams could trade back because they've said they wanted to do that too. The Lions were also thinking about, trading back their things too. We also got to think about some of the other teams up in the later back half of the draft that could try to make their way up because they know that other teams could, devalue his position.
Kind of like the Eagles.
Yeah,
they desperately need a safety.
Other teams behind us could go all out and try to take one in front of us too.
The thing about it too is if another team that has their eyes on a QB, they're going to have to jump Carolina because I'm almost confident Carolina's taking a QB this year.
I'm pretty sure they're going to end up taking Malik Willis.
No, they'll be real dumb and they'll go ahead and draft on Linderbaum.
I wouldn't be surprised if they take another corner. Just say bump the offense. We're going all out on defense.
I don't know, man. I just Carolina. I know they're in our division, but oh my God, that team right there just, and I don't even care what they do, but it just bothers me that they be doing some stupid shit, man. I'd be like, what are y'all doing?
Like last year when they took J.C. Horn, I was like, are you serious, bro?
Justin Fields is right there.
Well,
yeah,
I
Justin
feel like
Fields is right there, and you took J.C. Horn.
I really feel like they took Horn only because we took Pitts. Because when you think about it, there was only 1 or 2 people that was able to cover Pitts, and one of them was J.C. Horn. The other one I want to say was like Tyree Gillespie or something.
Mm-hmm.
But he fell later on too. So they could end up in another situation where it's like, hey, I'm just going to take a position just to spite the other team in the division too.
Well, that's what the 49ers did with us with Kinlaw.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
I was so mad when they did that.
And
now, of course, I'm not mad anymore.
Hey, they won the battle, but we won the war.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd rather have an all-pro cornerback than Kinlaw, who I haven't heard from in over a year.
That's what I'm saying, right? But I generally could see like two tackles going ahead of us. Like Neil, obviously, and then I really like Icky. Like I could see him going to the Giants.
All right, then. I think I'm gonna try to have us stay here. Remember this draft for next week because I want to do the same thing. I'm gonna grab some of the other people that I didn't put in this round, and I'm gonna fill up the same board. We're gonna have the same discussion. Hopefully, I'll probably start the conversation right away because we're 30 minutes over where I wanted to be at. But
No, I think we just had some good conversations. My thing is,
and there's no problem with that.
My thing is though, Noah, you got all 3 of our choice, but what is your overall choice? What did you wanna? What direction would you go?
Oh man, I mean, that's kind of the why I had this idea in the first place. It's like because I was so torn on so many people, and that really dictates what we do in the future with the other rounds too. But I think that whoever we draft here with the top pick, like whoever we at least plan to draft, that dictates our moves in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that he wants to have a plan of just taking the best player available. Let's just sit back and relax, But at the same time, I want to get guys that also make sense, and not just guys that are just
Well, I mean, if you look at what the free agency market, like you said, the free agency market's pretty stacked. So you could probably get you a guy a good guy that normally would have made more money in other years for a way cheaper deal and get you some nice production there. So that would wrap up the receiver part of it. You could get you a guy like Ben Jones or somebody like that to come in and then draft a guy like a tackle in the second or third round that handles the line. And then you can get you like a pass rusher in round 2 that handles your pass rush. So it's like, a guy like Hamilton would, you could fit him, and he would be the best player on the board.
Yeah, I mean, hey, put me on the Kyle train. Kyle Hamilton, Kyle Pitts, maybe round 2, take Kyle Phillips, to try to get another guy that's like a Kyle Juszczyk. Just give me everyone but a Shanahan.
Well, the thing is, if you take Kyle Hamilton first round, number 8 overall, you have no choice. I'm saying this from my opinion. You have no choice but to take 2 edge rushers in the second round.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. But hey, we'll at least have that freedom for next time that I set this up, because we're gonna have 2 winners. So don't worry.
You legit can go like Kyle Hamilton, 2 pass rushers. Round 3, go a tackle. And then in round 4, you could go
running back.
I'd even say like a corner, and then like that 5th round, you could probably go running back, because a lot of people push running backs down the board because just how.
Well, I'd push a running back even further. I could maybe take one in round 6 and get a tight end in round 5.
See, I was gonna do it the opposite, but that's just me though.
Well, I see a bit more of a drop off when I look at the guys that are placed where they are. And I'll take my chances with a 6th round running back. I don't know if I'll take my chances with a 6th round tight end at tight end 2 for us.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a bit too much of a talent drop off.
That's a fair point. What do you think? God, what's his name? I can't remember. The dude from Florida, the Gators that they were rumoring.
Dameon Pierce.
Where do you think he's going to go?
Ooh. Really depends. You know what? I feel like this kind of makes sense. If you're asking me where he could be drafted, how about the Dolphins?
No, I'm saying could you see him in round 4, round 5, or?
Oh, okay. Well, if we're going that way, yeah, he might be like a late round 4, and I don't know if we'll have that window of opportunity to get him.
See, that's why I was looking at him as the running back in round 5, because you could pick him up and he's got that kind of frame, kind of like that Mike Davis frame that Arthur Smith was, likes at his running backs.
Yeah, I like Breece Hall and Walker, but they'll be gone way before we draft. So
yeah. Well, that's gonna wrap up this discussion. And I know it's getting really late for a lot of y'all. But yeah, this was fun. It's just the elimination process. I'm gonna watch this back, and I don't normally do that because of my voice. But yeah, this was really interesting. I'm gonna do the same thing. Get a bunch of round 2 prospects, some other people in the top of the first round that might go that I missed, and we'll see where we go from there. I'm gonna keep this decision though too, because if I put up another safety, or let's say I'll put Lewis Cine from Georgia back up on the list again. It's like that's still a possibility. There's other people that I put up on here that could fall in the second round too. Like maybe DeMarvin Leal pops back up here. Maybe Jordan Davis pops back up on here, and that'll be more conversational pieces for us to have. So it'll be interesting.
I think my boy Trey don't went to sleep on him.
Man, who would have thought he got a loud snore?
This was a dope idea though. I like this.
Oh yeah, this move. And we got to get an insight from all four of us to, talking about different players and how we feel about it. So that's pretty cool. But we're not gonna hold you long no more, man. We really appreciate you having us on the show.
Yeah, my pleasure. And shout out to everyone else in the chat too. Like I said, I'm gonna watch this back and I'm gonna keep track of some names that you guys mentioned as well that I didn't really put up here. The Royal Rumble only goes up to 30 spots, but yeah, I don't know if that's Trey or if that's a bear. But anyways, we're gonna close this off just for his sake. All right, guys.
All right, bro.
Take care.
Right. Take care.